Hey guys, what's up? My name is Royce, and thanks for tuning in to this tutorial for my little song called Scan Jammer. If you haven't seen it yet, you should check it out. It's only a minute long. You can click on this annotation or the first link in the description. In this tutorial, I'm going to explain not only how I do the various patterns, but also how I came up with them. And hopefully that'll help you in coming up with your own drum patterns with various sample packs or even your own samples that you find or create. So I recorded Scan Jammer using the ill.Gates 1-Up pack, but I actually came up with the main pattern as well as the patterns at the end using another pack, the Mad sound pack called That Next. It's a part of his volume 4. You can click these links to get to those packs, and they're also in the description. Perfect time to use a leaf blower. So I'm gonna go ahead and perform this the way I had originally come up with it, just so you can see where my brain was going. Something like that. So Mad is really consistent in the way he arranges the sounds in his sound packs, and other people have used the same pattern, but usually he has a kick drum in the lower left. Usually here there will be a hi-hat, and then there's usually a snare here or here, sometimes here. So usually when you're beginning with finger drumming, you want to start out with a basic pattern, kick drum and snare. And then you'll be able to add a hi-hat in. And then sometimes you can mix it up. If you're trying to do that at first and you're not getting it, just slow it down, take your time. Once you practice it for like 5 minutes, you'll have it, I promise. The other thing that Mad frequently has are melodic tones in these upper rows, and this pack is no different. So I started out playing around with this pack with the melody and a basic drum pattern like that. But I wanted something a little more offbeat. I wanted to figure out how to play that with one hand, just for the challenge, I guess, and figuring out the offbeats. So then I got that down and wanted to make something more complex. So I basically came up with a drum pattern that filled in all those offbeats. How that went, but I wanted to challenge myself by doing it with one hand. I realized that would be simpler by eliminating the drum sounds that happened on the second 2 melodic notes. I still wanted the first one for the kick, so instead of doing those 2 together, I eliminated the drum and just did the note. So it came out like... So instead of... it came out. And then I altered it slightly to use that going into that, just because I liked the sound when you press it short, and if you hold it long, it was this cool sample. So basically here's the pattern. I'm going to play it slowly for you so you can see what's going on. Here it is. So the end is the same as the original pattern, but but I switched up the beginning a bit. Here it is again slowly. Notice I'm holding that. I'm using my middle finger on both of those, and your thumb does most of the work. And I go to the ring finger, and then middle finger again. So all three of these melodic notes are played with the middle finger. Hold, hold. Now notice I held that one longer because I wanted to hear the full voice. Also, that ending pattern I had originally come up with on this pack as well. So that's how I came up with that main pattern. Hopefully that made some kind of sense. And it just so happened that I was trying out ill.Gates 1-Up pack and tried the same pattern because I'd practiced it enough and had it kind of under my fingers, and it turned out really nicely. Alright, so now I'm going to do the same pattern with the ill.Gates 1-Up pack. One thing, if you get this pack, I did pitch one of the samples, and it's this one. And it originally sounds like this, but I tuned it up 1/2 step to match this. Alright, so let's jump right into it here. Slappy. Slappy Joe. We'll do that pattern in just a minute. So it's the same idea. And it just so happened that this pack had really good filler sounds for in between the patterns. Now when performing this one, there's already a tempo established by a couple of the samples in the pack. And that's why the intro actually helps out a lot, because it helps establish the tempo if you're not playing with a click. That thumb's gotta move though. So that's that main pattern, basically the same exact thing as before. All right, moving on to that second middle section. So I came up with that middle second pattern very much the same way, just starting with the basics and sort of filling in. I knew the sound I wanted was like... So it was just a matter of like figuring out how to fill in the middle. So I'm going to slow it down. We're just going to take it section by section. Really, it's just a matter of practicing. Something important to note here is that because this sample has a press sound and a release sound, it sounds better if you release at the same time as you're pressing the next note. Otherwise, you end up with a like in-between note, and to me, it just didn't sound right. If it goes like... For the purposes of this section, I'm going to call these notes 1, 2, and 3, and then the kick. So the first section, 1, 2, 1, 3. 1, 2, 1, 3. And again, hold that until you release. Then the next part is just straight 1, 2, 3. So what I do in that second little section is I hold this note after the second note and wait to release it until 3. And that way you get the hi-hat sound on that hey. Instead of... It's a minor difference, but I don't know. So from the beginning again, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3. And then 2, 1, 3. And then it's 1, 2, 1. Alright, so from the beginning, all 4 little sections. You're not going to get this right the first time. You're not going to get it right probably the first few times. And I didn't either. I had the sound in my head, but my fingers weren't doing what I wanted them to do. Kick, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 1, 2, 1. And what you can do the second time around on the very last part, instead of going 1, 2, 1, you can go 1, 2, 3. So from there I brought in the melody notes, which I couldn't really pull off doing with one hand, so I brought my left hand in. So it'll be 2, 1, kick. 2, 1, kick. Alright, at the same time we're going to do these 3 melody notes. 2, 1, kick. 2, 1, kick. And then I just reversed the order of the melody notes. 2, 1, kick. And then back to normal. 2, 1, kick. Fucked up. And then coming into the last part, I still hit the 2, 1, and instead of this downbeat, the next pattern, which really I discovered just from screwing around, trying different combinations of things. So this is how it goes. Your fingers may not want to cooperate right at first. You know, there's that phrase, practice makes perfect, and that's actually not completely correct. Practice makes permanent. And if you practice things well, then you'll be perfect. But if you practice things wrong, you'll actually develop bad habits. So if you're screwing up, stop playing it over and over screwed up. Slow it down to where you play it right, and then you'll be able to slowly take it faster, so you won't be sloppy like I am. So start out slow. And then slowly speed it up. But getting that transition is a little tricky. Anyways, then that last part is pretty simple. It's actually best to hold that note as long as possible so you get the full record scratch. It's not the same if you hit it quickly. I'm hitting all 4 here. And again, this is pitched to match that, really just because of that last note. I guess that about wraps it up. Thanks for watching, guys. If you liked this tutorial, be sure to thumbs it up, or even better, share it over to someone else who might like it. Also, of course, be sure to subscribe. I'm now going to be putting out more frequent videos, at least 1 a week, and try to do more than that. I'm also going to be making other videos, animations, AMVs, random edits, stuff like that. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Hopefully tomorrow. Bye.